You are.
Okay, we're here with Nick Bobeck after Central Oklahoma's 53-52 win over Emporia State in Mid-America Intercollegiate Athletics Association action in Edmond. Coach, why don't you just make an opening statement on the game?
Yeah, I think it was a tale of two halves, and I think consistency is right now where we're lacking. Heart is where we're not, and it was a. To be honest with you, I don't know how to feel about it. I know I feel good about the win. There's no question about it. But I also know that there's much greater potential with this group. We've got to find a way as coaches to find that consistency, where you play really well for spurts. And that's been kind of our MO and throughout the season. And we found a way to scratch one out today. We executed well enough at the end of the game in some critical situations, some freak situations, really, but our kids executed well, and I'm proud of them for doing that. It shows character that a bunch of these kids have, and we talk about it over and over and over with our kids is, we believe in trust, we believe in character, we believe in effort in this program, and we got that tonight. We got all three of them tonight, and they found a way to scratch it out.
Go ahead, Nick.
Okay. What made you decide to go for two at the end of the game, and then what went into the play call, the double reverse?
Yeah, we work that stuff every day or every week, not every day, and we've been working them for 2 or 3 years, and you add one every year or so, and but you stay with them, because at some point they're going to come up where you're going to need a 2-point conversion, and the kids executed them very well tonight, and I was proud of them. For doing that, and things have to go, in a certain way for you to get to them. But we got to them, and the kids worked it out. Why the call at the end? I just felt like we were beat up a little bit on defense. That's why we went for the onside too. We were a little bit beat up in some spots. We had Johnny Harris was out. We were having some cramping issues and all those type things. I just didn't know if we could hold up. Throughout an overtime period, and I felt like we needed to win it then, and we had one more in the chamber, and we decided to fire it.
JT Looper had 230 yards, 12 catches, and 4 touchdowns. Is the offensive game plan at this point just get the ball to JT?
Well, it's always been that. And since he was a junior, in 2015, he was special then too. And the more you can get the ball in his hands, the better you're going to be. And and if the quarterback recognizes, I'll tell you the other part of that is Chaz Stollard recognizing the one-on-ones, and when he gets the one-on-one, putting the ball in a good position for him to go make the play, and JT did, So, but we're always looking to get him the ball. That's never been not the case. But some guys take him away, some don't, and they didn't take him away tonight in certain situations, and there was some luck in a couple of those calls too that they gave us one-on-ones, and they didn't recognize that he was in the slot or whatever it may be. So, great job by the kids.
And then how important was it to be able to get pressure at the end of that game on that Hail Mary, the Carson Smith getting in there, and then number one also getting involved at the end of the game?
Justin Stewart, Justin probably had his best game since he's been here. He's an extremely talented kid, but has been a little bit inconsistent, and we've been in him a little bit. But he found a way today, and played well. Played with some energy. Had great pressure on a couple of occasions. Played well in the run game, boxed the counter a couple of times that made the ball squirt in the middle, and guys made plays. So I was proud of those kids. And obviously it's anytime you can get pressure on the quarterback, it's a big deal.
During that streak, I think Emporia scored 31 straight points. How were you able to come back from that and keep the team believing they could still win the game?
That's probably the most difficult thing in sports, in my opinion, in life. Because things tend to snowball on you, and just stop digging. At some point, once you get in the hole, you got to stop digging. And if you can stop digging, that's what our kids did. They started making a couple of plays, and what really started that, and everybody's going to point at the defense, but it's offensively in that third quarter. we had at least 2 3rd-and-1 situations that we didn't convert. And we got tired on defense. They were running some tempo, and some of that was as much on the offensive side of the football as it was on the defensive side of the ball. And I think the first 3 series of the half, we ran 10 plays of the second half. That's tough. You got to put your defense in a tough situation. And I think we had 19 minutes of time of possession at the halftime, and to 10:53, I believe it was, and that turned around pretty quick in the 3rd quarter. And that's as much on myself and the offensive coaches as it is the defensive guys, and I think that's got to be looked at.
You guys played both Quan Hogan and Jake Stanley today. Will you guys keep switching series with them, or will one person eventually be the one running back, or how's that going to kind of
we
work
need
out
one
the
of
rest of the
them.
way?
We need one of them to step up and take it, and that's what we're looking for. And we need one of those 2 young cats to step forward and say, it's mine. Give me the carries and you take the scraps. And that's what we're trying to get out of those 2 kids is we need that competition to be ramped up, and one of them to take the bull by the horns and go. They're both talented kids. There's no question about it. They're both talented kids, but we need one of them to step up and go.
And I saw Chandler Garrett kind of played a little bit last week, but now you're starting to implement him in that little wild Bronco, I like to call it. How important is it to have a guy his size to be able to run the wild Bronco?
Good, it's good, and it helps having a guy that he can throw it too, and there's some things that we can do as far as throwing the ball out of that formation. You get some one-on-ones with Josh Crockett or JT Looper and so forth, and we didn't do it today. And that was one of the formations I was a little bit disappointed with. We didn't function out of that as well as what we could have. We did score 1 off of a counter play on that thing, but we've got to find more ways to execute out of that formation, especially when they load up the way that they did and they wrong arm us from the. All we're doing is running power out of it. And they're wrong arming the fullback, and that thing's having to bounce to an extra hat. So that's kind of what happened today.
So another past 2 games came down to last possession. This one did too. But what was different about this game than the past 2?
I think I don't necessarily know. To be quite honest with you, it's kind of a freak deal that's taking place, and. Our kids. I'm just proud of our kids for believing that they could do it, and they found a way, and JT Looper, Josh Crockett, Chaz Stollard, those kids, big play by Elliott Curry on the 4th and 4 on that drive, that's going to be one that people forget about. That's a huge football play. But we've got some really talented kids, and we've got to find a way to get it all to mesh, and if we can stay consistent throughout a football game, I feel good about who we are, but that's something that we have to continue to do.
And also, how were you able to keep, I guess, the positivity going after the back-to-back close losses, and then towards the end of the game today, how were you able to keep the positivity going?
Yeah, I think we talk about character in our program a lot, and character is who are you when nobody's watching. Well, you had a lot of people watching. And you showed what type of character you have, but that doesn't just happen on game days, because guys come to practice and they listen, and they take corrections, they take coaching, they're not afraid to do that, and that takes character when you have somebody, especially when you feel like you're Superman and you're 18, 19, 20, 21 years old and you feel like you're Superman and you got somebody telling you you're wrong, that's not something that kids do real well nowadays. That's not something that people do real well nowadays. And but our kids have character, and they trust what we're doing. They trust what we're trying to implement. That we talk all the time about. It's not necessarily what happens; it's how do you respond. And life happens. As a man, as a woman, whatever. You're going to have adversity in your life, and it's not necessarily what happened. It's the response that matters. And the response is what's going to get the results at the end of the day. And it's not easy. It's not easy because you've got 100 people in your ear telling them how many excuses they can use, or why it's happened. Well, Jake Gandera and Clay McKenzie aren't playing, and Addison Staggs isn't playing. You got all these injuries. You've had a chance to win every football game, and they know that. but character shows in tough times like this, and they found a way to get it done, and I couldn't be more proud of them.
What was the thought process going into the onside kick? Because I know you called a timeout right before you actually did end up doing it. Did you see something that you liked out of their special teams look?
Well, we that's something that we work on, twice a week. We work it on Sunday, and then we work it again on Thursday. And we've got multiple onsides out of that, but it's all based upon the alignment out there, which everybody knows that. I'm not giving anybody a secret here or anything like that. But I think what happened at the timeout is, I talked about the injuries that we had on the defensive side of the ball. We had about 4 new kids out there. We had about 4 new kids, and we had a book on the boundary, and we're showing them what they're supposed to be doing, and there's a reason that you have the book. It's for situations like that. You show them exactly what you got to do, in those situations, and the kids went and executed. There was a great kick by Rocky, great kick by Alex, and the ball bounced right up to Chris Pogai, and the unsung hero that nobody's going to talk about is Malik Walker, that had a great block on that thing, and the ball was just kind of hanging in the air, and he did his job to perfection, and just really proud of him.
It seemed like Chaz sometimes was making plays when there was nothing there. Could you just talk about his performance today and how important he was in his game?
He's huge. I mean, that's what he's done his whole career, and sometimes he drives you nuts, to be quite honest with you, because it's outside of, sometimes some of the things he does is outside of what's drawn on the board, and most of us as coaches are, we want to draw on a board and we want it done to scale, and that's not him. That's not what he was in high school. That's not what we recruited him as, and it's not what he's been for his time here. And some of it drives you nuts. There's no question about it. But there's a lot of positive with that kid because of how stinking competitive he is, and when he makes football plays, because he is one of the most competitive people I've ever been around in my life, and just huge fan of that kid, just because of the way he competes, the difficulties that he's gone through. He's a lot like, I was talking after the game about JT Looper not getting to play last year because of some academic issues that he had. Well, there was a quarterback battle, 2014 or 2015, 2016, kind of going back and forth, and it'd been real easy for that kid just to pack his stuff up and say, to heck with it. But that kid's going to have his MBA by the time he's done here. He's going to be one of the all-time greats that's ever played here at UCO, and it shows his character and what type of person he is. That's allowed him to do that.
Good. Okay. Thank you, Coach.
All right. Thank you.